Salve te tua fistula. Today we are going to be talking about infinitives in Latin. All right, and you can follow along in stage 13 grammar in the Cambridge Latin course. You can follow along on page 11. So we're going to talk about when do we see an infinitive in a sentence, how do we translate the infinitive, and why do we even have this form? So the easiest thing to start off with is why do we even have this form? The infinitive is the second principal part. So verbs are, when you see a dictionary form of a verb, like to sing, canto, cantare, cantavi, you have, for right now, 3 different principal parts. And these 3 principal parts give you information that helps you in your translation and understanding of it. The second principal part is what we call the infinitive. And that's also where we get the stem for any verb that is being conjugated in the present or the imperfect tense. The third principal part is where we get the stem for the perfect tense, right? And a couple others in the future. So these are what are known as the principal parts. And so the infinitive is your second principal part. The infinitive, besides giving us a stem for present and imperfect tenses, also helps us organize our verbs. Right? So there are slightly different rules for each group or family of verbs. And the infinitive is what we use to organize them. So remember how nouns have declensions? So verbs have what are known as conjugations. And so there are 4 conjugations plus all the irregular ones. So there are 4 conjugations, and this is how we divide them up. If we look at this infinitive form, we know that it's the infinitive form because of the RE at the very end of it. All right? Because normally verbs end in M or O, ST, most and infinitives end in an RE. And before that RE is always a vowel. All right? And so if the vowel before the RE is an A, you have a first conjugation. If it is an E with a long mark, like in sedere, you have second. If it's an E with no long mark, like ducere, to lead, you have third. And then if it's an I, like again dormire, to sleep, you have a fourth. And so these are how we kind of organize our verbs. We have first, second, third, and fourth conjugations. Right? So that's a more metagrammatical concept of why do we have these infinitives? Oh, we use them for organizing our verb families. What we really want to know is, though, how do we translate an infinitive, and where will we see it in a Latin sentence? So if you remember verbs like cantavit, or excuse me, let's keep it simple, cantat, he, she, it sings, right? The T ending is where we understand that we have he, she, it. Well, with the infinitive ending of RE, we know to translate it to sing. And this is challenging because in English, the word to gets used many different times as a preposition, as part of indirect objects, but here it has the connotation of it is how you translate that RE ending. And so when we look in a Latin sentence, we can't just make a complete one with this, right? You can't just say, to sing a song, that doesn't tell us who's doing the singing or where they're singing or any of that type of information. So infinitives never work alone. All right? If you see an infinitive, you've got to be thinking there's another verb in this sentence. And there's a couple of ones that are commonly paired with infinitives. The verbs volo, nolo, and possu. And of course, those are only their first principal part. There's the rest of them that you can look up in the dictionary. But these 3 verbs are often paired. And there will be more, but we'll start with just these 3. All right? So for instance, quintus, dormire, in lecto, volt. So here, Quintus wants to sleep in the bed. All right? We see how the infinitive completes the idea of what is he wanting to do, because without it, Quintus wants in a bed. What does he want in a bed? Does he want to eat food in the bed? Does he want to let Cerberus up in the bed? Like, we don't know. So this infinitive helps us complete this verb. Or here, Caecilius ducere potest. Caecilius is able to lead. All right. Without the ducere there, without that infinitive, potest doesn't make sense. All right. So when we see these three verbs, we should be thinking, oh, there needs to be an infinitive somewhere in these sentences. All right. And that's where you will see infinitives in your translations. So infinitives on a higher level are used to organize our verbs. The A is for the first, the long E before the ending is for second conjugation, the short E before the ending is third conjugation, and the I before the ending is fourth conjugation. And then when we're translating it, the RE essentially just translates to a to. All right? So cantare is to sing. So what is one word in Latin gets made into two words in English. And then we often will see it paired with certain verbs. For right now, we see it with nolo, volo, and possum, and of course, all of the different forms that you get with those verbs. So, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and thanks for watching.